What's up, people? Don't mind that. I'm watching Ash from GT Live. But people has been asking me how I made this. Story time first. My dog had a toy that had that noise. So I took the toy and put it there and made it. But you can use one of these if you wanted to. But I'll take this apart, be back in a flash. I also had to take it apart too because I messed up in a place and didn't care about it. I was like, if anyone was interested, I can fix it then. So, voila! Update. Went to music because Ash finished. What you need is your beads of choice of color, any color, string, that's optional, a needle, and the noisemaker thing. The amount of string, I usually do like 2 arms lengths, just in case. Now we're here. Now you're on a Lysol wipe because I don't have those fancy things. So now you take 3 of your beads of color of choice, then you put it on the thread or whatever string that you have, put it through 3 of them, and then tie it off. This was inspiration from the jellyfish tutorials that I've watched, and was like, let's start there with this. So yeah, now we're here. I make sure it's tight so it doesn't fall off. So I'm now going to cut this off, and so it should look like this. Now you go to the other side, like optional. Either you can do it by the string yourself or the needle. I'm going to do needle. I would recommend tying this multiple times. So now, after you tie it off and such, I would recommend pulling this through to this point, then add a bead. Just don't do that, because I'm gonna have to do this again. So you put the bead on there, then you pull it through 3 times until now you're here. It looks like a triangle. Would recommend to put it through 1 more time in the corner, and then voila. Now we're having a triangle. Now get 3 beads and put it on a needle or the string, and then put it through this one, so it goes like that, and do it for all 3 sides. So if you're here with a weird triangle again, go through here. Now go through these 3 beads on top to get here. And once you're here, put a bead through, and then go all the way through to this side. All 3, all around. I would also like to point out that make sure it's the size around the noise thingy, which is almost time for me to have the next step to go up. I would also take a second to tighten a lot of things around it to make sure it's a bit tight and it starts to like bubble. Or start to like fit. It's not going to look like it's going to fit, but it will once we get a certain point. So I tightened it to look like a bubble, and then we go through this bead. Now we're gonna take a bead and put it into, since we're here, we're going to not take it into that bead, but we're going to take it into this bead. And we're going to skip every other one. So we're going to go into this one, this one, this one, on and on. So we get to this point where we're here. We skip a bead still. We still go through this bead. Just a reminder again, just pull it tight. Not really too tight so it doesn't fit, but tight enough that it won't have dangles. So since we went through that, put a bead, went through that, and we're like, where do we go next? We go up this bead. And then you can change colors, you can do whatever. I'm gonna keep it black still until a certain point. We do it again, every other one. So I'm back to the point that it looks like really wonky. I'm just gonna go up to this bead and this bead at once. I'm gonna try to do this on camera. There we go. And then back to going around. And at a certain point, sorry, it was off screen. It should be able to start fitting soon. If I go up to like here, it might start. Yeah. Just continue up until however long the tube is. You can switch colors at any point. Just a reminder, just to go up to, if you get to this point, just go up 2 beads. See, earlier when I was talking about going up these 2 beads, I forgot to put a bead here. So I have to take this apart to put a bead there to go back up. Yeah. Bead up these 2. Going back. Now it should be ready for me to just put it in there. There we go. Now usually this would be this when it's on, it's now easier to put beads on there because you can see where the gaps are to put through. I usually like to hold it here, the string, so I know it's going this way. It also tightens it. It's gonna look funny here, but it'll be fine. This is also where I'm gonna add a bit color. It's still the same. Just keep on going. Just make sure you don't mess up like this. Or that. There we go. Now we're back. Don't forget to do the bead and go up 2. I'm even trying to remember that so I don't mess up like the other time I did. I'm changing color again. You can change it whenever you want. I'm adding a new red to the mix. And don't forget to grab a bead and go up 2 whenever you get to that point. If you ever see something like this that looks like you would have to go up 2, I would say backtrack, because I have one here, and I must have accidentally went up 2 there. It looks like it, but just go across, because I have one here. Look like that when it says here. I'm gonna have to do the top in part 2. Sorry about that. I just like things detailed. But yeah, see you on part. Welcome to part 2 of finishing the top. But before we do that, I noticed this. If you see that, go back through, like if you messed up on the double of putting a bead, then double, go back through to see the problem. So I made it to this bead that was extra, and I want to see what happened and why it happened. Oh, it's just a random bead. What? Okay. That point was where I needed to go up 2 beads. And I forget to do that. So I fixed it. I'm now putting this back on it. And get to the where I want to start closing it off. And now, once you get to your certain height, do it again, every other one, but tighten it more so it looks like this. And how I'm going to do it is not going to look like what it looks like down here, because I haven't figured that out yet. If someone figures that out, yippee! So once, you might go through the bead twice point, that's where I'm going to call it checkpoint, and then do bead there. I'm going to do it again. So, what I've realized is that how I did it last time is I went every other one still until I get to the center. Once we got it to the point of ending, I'm threading it through all of these to close it off. Depends on how you want to do it. There might be an extra bubble or whatever. But that's what it looks like. I honestly think I actually did it. Made it look like this. That's pretty cool. But yeah. I just used one of these. It sounds like that because I don't like to really... I like using resources that I have. Quick plug. I have a Blue Sky. I am more active-ish there. And then I have a shop that does resin stuff. And candy stuff if I scroll all the way down. But yeah. If you want to see more of my projects, would recommend looking here. Or my link tree. I have everything there. Unless it's broken links, then I need to fix that.